No one wakes up planning to lose control around food. It happens slowly, politely, with silverware. Before mukbangs, before cheat days, before I deserve this. There was Rome, and Rome didn't just eat. Rome performed appetite. If ancient Greece organized drinking, ancient Rome industrialized indulgence. The Roman elite believed abundance was proof of power. If you could afford excess, you deserved excess. Food wasn't fuel, it was dominance on a plate. Banquets lasted for hours, sometimes days. Tables sagged under roasted boar, honey dormice, exotic birds, sauces thick with fat and spice. Courses weren't meals, they were acts. And here's where the myth begins. You've heard it before. Romans ate until they were full, then went to vomitoriums, then came back to eat more. It sounds ridiculous. It sounds cartoonish. And that's exactly why it stuck. Because the truth is subtler and much more uncomfortable. A vomitorium was not a room for vomiting. It was a passageway, an exit in large buildings that vomited crowds into the streets. But Romans did induce vomiting, not as architecture, as behavior. Some elites intentionally purged to continue eating, not because they were hungry, but because stopping felt like failure. And that distinction matters. This wasn't about survival. It was about reward without restraint. Roman feasts followed a pattern. First, anticipation, rare foods, exotic flavors, status dishes. Then, pleasure, salt, fat, sugar, dopamine lighting up the brain. Then comes the shift. The reward system stops responding the same way. The first bite is amazing. The 10th is fine. The 20th is empty. But the brain doesn't want to stop. So it demands more, not because it tastes good, but because it once did. Modern neuroscience has a name for this. Reward system malfunction. When dopamine spikes too often, the brain adapts. Receptors dull. Satisfaction drops. You don't eat for pleasure anymore. You eat to chase a memory of pleasure. That's gluttony. Not hunger, not greed, but repetition after joy is gone. The Romans noticed this, even if they didn't understand neurotransmitters. They wrote about bloated bodies, sluggish minds, men who couldn't think clearly after endless feasting. They mocked excess while practicing it. Satirical poets described elites who ate until they were nauseous, then complained that food no longer excited them. Imagine being surrounded by abundance and still feeling unsatisfied. That's not indulgence, that's malfunction. And psychologically, something else was happening. Food became emotional regulation. Stress, feast. Boredom, feast. Power, anxiety, feast harder. The Roman Empire was expanding, unstable, overstimulated. Violence was public. Life was uncertain. So they rewarded themselves constantly. Sound familiar? Your brain doesn't care whether excess comes from a Roman banquet or a delivery app. It responds the same way. Repeated overstimulation teaches the brain one dangerous lesson. Discomfort must be removed immediately. And when food becomes the fastest solution, self-control weakens. The Romans didn't have ultra-processed snacks, but they had ritualized excess. And rituals matter. When overconsumption becomes normalized, it stops feeling extreme. That's how collapse begins quietly. Doctors of the time described digestive issues, lethargy, mental fog. They noticed that constant feasting dulled discipline, not just physically, morally, because gluttony isn't just about eating too much. It's about losing the ability to stop. And once the stopping point disappears, every desire becomes louder. Rome didn't fall because people ate too much, but excessive indulgence reflected something deeper. A society that rewarded appetite more than restraint. Today, we laugh at the vomitorium myth, but we live its psychology. Endless availability, infinite portions, food engineered to override satiety signals. The Roman elite had servants remove plates. We have apps that ask, still hungry? Different tools. Same brain. And here's the part nobody likes hearing. Gluttony isn't a lack of discipline. It's a damaged feedback loop. When pleasure is constant, meaning disappears. When reward is instant, patience dies. The Romans didn't invent overconsumption. They just proved something timeless. When a civilization confuses abundance with fulfillment, the body pays first, then the mind, then everything else. Not anti-food, not moral panic, just history, digesting itself. But you are allowed to break the pattern. And knowing the truth is step one. If you love content where history spills secrets, psychology connects the dots. Health brings the receipts. You already know what to do. Subscribe, share, and join me for the next chapter.